What is up, guys? So I've got my Numeron Time Thief deck for you guys. Numeron is the best package this format. Pretty much any sort of Numeron variant is going to be a meta deck this format, and I think this is definitely one of the strongest decks this format. I mean, it's just so hard to beat. The Numeron package is so strong, and then the Time Thief package supports it so well and just gives you another layer of utility and versatility in this deck. But guys, I'm going to go straight into that deck profile. So we play 3 Time Thief Winder. So we really like Time Thief Winder. Winder's main thing is really just facilitating those kind of XYZ plays. A lot of the times you are not looking to get him out first, but when you do summon him, he does allow you to add any Time Thief card to your hand, which is great. So you can add your flyback, you can add your counter trap. I mean, it's just so good to have Time Thief Winder. You definitely want to have 3 of him in your deck. What's particularly nice as well is you can detach material from the XYZ monster to special summon him. So a lot of the times, for example, with my Zexal, when I bring it out, I'm going to detach on my turn after I've stunned my opponent. I'll detach material to bring him out, and then I'll carry on XYZ summoning if I can't just OTK them with my Numeron network, which is really good. Play 1 Time Thief Bezel Ship. So Bezel Ship is probably the brickiest of the Time Thief cards that you have, but I do still like having it just because one of the main advantages is I can steal cards from my opponent's graveyard, and in matchups particularly like Eldritch and stuff, this is so good. And Emancipate as well, steal a Block Dragon or something and just put it. It doesn't matter what the material is, by the way. It's just any card in your opponent's graveyard, you can put that card attached to your Time Thief, and now they don't have it anymore, which is really nice. And then also you can special summon him for free from the graveyard, which is great as well. So Bezel Ship, a really nice card. And Chrono Quarter. So I like Chrono Quarter just because it's a good counter to the Numeron cards, ironically enough. A lot of people don't know, but this card, so I'll read its effect just for those of you who don't know its effect. During your opponent's battle phase, you contribute this card. The next battle damage you take from the opponent's monster attack this turn is inflicted to your opponent instead. If a face-up XYZ monster you control leaves the card by card effect, you can special summon this card and banish it when it leaves the field. So Chrono Quarter I really like just because against Numeron decks, unless they have a hard negate to stop this in the battle phase, it means that they can't do much. They're going to have to beat over this card, which is going to be hard because their first attack won't be over this card, and then you contribute it and it prevents them. And also because if your monster's on defense, well, it'll prevent them from doing too much damage, or they'll probably OTK themselves when they try and OTK you. So this is a really good card to have, Chrono Code. I really like it, and I definitely would keep it 1 in this deck. Then we play the 3 Planet Pathfinder for searching that Numeron network because it's busted. 3 Time Thief Regulator. This is the main starter. So when you control Nova monsters, tribute this card to special summon 2 Time Thief monsters. So basically it's your 1 card rank 4. Now what's particularly nice, and one of the main combos you'll see that I'll do with this deck is I'll activate Numeron network, and then I'll normal summon my Time Thief Regulator, and then I'll tribute this to bait and negate. Now, a lot of the times my opponent is going to negate this, and then that means I can just use my Numeron network instead and then do sums of that. Or if they negate my Numeron network, for example, I now have my Time Thief Regulator, and I can still go to XYZs, and I don't just have an empty board for my opponent to play with. Moving on, we play 3 Ash Blossom. Obviously hits every single deck in the format. There's really no reason to not play Ash Blossom. And then I play 3 Numeron Wall. So Numeron Wall, obviously another searcher for your Numeron network. I mean, guys, Numeron network is really busted this format. So you need to either be playing Numeron decks or you need to be playing good counters to it, because I'm telling you now, this whole package is just so busted. You have so many ways to get to it. You have your Pathfinders, you have your Numeron Walls, you have your Numeron Network, you have your Terraforming. I mean, there's just so many ways to get to it. That's just very hard to deal with. Moving on, I play 2 Lightning Storm in the main deck just to deal with back row in case I end up going second. Then we play the 1 Terraforming for searching Numeron Network and 2 Numeron Calling. These are kind of bricks, but not really, because it's very easy. Even if you draw this card, it's not the end of the world. As long as you see Numeron Network as well, you can just activate this card normally, which is wonderful. Then we have Memories of Hope. Memories of Hope, really good card for this deck, obviously, because if you summon it while you have all your Numeron cards out, you get to draw 3 or 4 cards, which is insane. Play the 1 Double or Nothing for the Utopia double OTKs, which are very easy. I mean, if you weren't already going to completely OTK your opponent with your Numeron cards, you also have the Utopia double potential to OTK as well. And then the 3 Numeron Network, of course. 3 Imperm, it beats almost every deck this format, which is really nice to have, including the one I'm playing right now. 1 Time Thief Flyback. Time Thief Flyback is a nice card just because, for example, you can add a trap from your deck to your Time Thief monster just so you can get that bounce on your opponent's turn, which is really good. Then we play 3 Phantom Knights with Shadebringer Dean. Shadebringer Dean is a really good card just as basically a free level 4 monster to facilitate your rank 4 plays, and 2 Time Thief Retrograde. So Retrograde, really nice to have a counter trap in this deck. That's the main reason why I do play it, though it is 100% necessary. You could just switch this for Solemn Judgment instead. Moving on into the extra, there's really nothing revolutionary about it. So I play 2 Zexal, two of all the Numeron gates, 1 Utopia double, and then I play 2 Time Thief Regulator, Time Thief Redoer, not Regulator, and 1 Time Thief Perpetua. So there's really nothing special about this extra deck. It's really just all about either getting the Utopic Zexal out or getting your Time Thief Redoer and Perpetua out, so you can keep disrupting your opponent and doing those kind of low budget plays that your opponent just won't be able to deal with as you gain advantage each turn. Moving on from that into our extra deck, very simple extra deck. 3 Evenly Match for going second, 3 Twin Twister again for back row decks, Dark Green No More again for shutting down those Emancipator boards, 3 Tactical Talents. I'm really starting to like this card, and in this deck particularly, I think again it's another deck where it's really strong, because just the ability to kind of, your opponent might go Stoke or Ash your Numeron network, they're definitely going to be siding those in to get rid of your Numeron network, and so you can just activate 3 Tactical Talents instead, and for example maybe draw into a Numeron Calling, something which is really good, or look in their hand and reduce the advantage. And Sphere Mode. So Sphere Mode, I've really started to enjoy playing Sphere Mode again in this format, just because it does deal with quite a few decks, Pendulums and Emancipators especially. It really does slow them down, and in decks like this where your normal summon isn't 100% crucial, it is really good. Especially in this deck, you can Sphere Mode your opponent, then activate Numeron Network and still bring out your Zex or whatever you want to bring out, which is really nice. But yeah, guys, that is my Time Thief Numeron deck. But I'm definitely not just going to leave you a profile. I'm going to show you some replays of this deck in action. So here is a game, and what's really funny about this game is I never even got to see the Numeron side of my deck, but the recursiveness of the Time Thief cards really just carried me through it. So you can see I go from the Regulator straight into the rank 4, set my cards. This guy's was playing actually Numeron Eldritch, funnily enough, but he just never really gets to get his play started, so he tries to imperm my Time Thief Redoer, but that's a huge mistake because my Retrograde attaches that to him, and then I also get a spell, so I've got the perfect situation for my Time Thief Redoer. It's got, I'm going to get a draw, and I'm going to get a bounce off it. Now in this situation, so here's the kind of thing how you can use just one Redoer to kind of counter this thing. I wait until he's used the first 2 attacks, then I just bounce the last card. He's only going to get to do 4k damage, and he's not going to get to do that again to me. So obviously he puts his Zexal out, it doesn't even matter because my Redoer is coming back the next turn. I use Fly Back to add another trap to my Time Thief, and then I just beat over his Utopic Zexal. I mean, it's as simple as that really. He's going to try and look to kind of use his Numeron plays again, but unfortunately I get to bounce it one more time and he does not get his play, and then that's going to put the Chronocaller in graveyard so that I can XYZ summon again next turn. I'm going to Ash that Scarlet Sanguine as well, obviously, just denying him from even getting the Eldritch plays started, because that's really what comes down to. Ash Blossom is such a good card in the Eldritch matchup, just by kind of denying their ability to get their plays out. I mean, this guy has bricks quite hard, though he does have 2 Nibiru's, and I'm really not doing enough summoning for him to abuse the Nibiru's anyway. And he also drew the Driver, which is sad. He does try to kind of use the Conquistador last second, but that just gets bounced again by the Time Thief, and then that's game right there. But guys, that is the Time Thief Numeron deck that I have for you. Definitely try this out. It's a very good deck, this format. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty more videos coming soon, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.